Welcome to the Risk Wheelhouse, the podcast where we navigate the ever-changing seas of risk management and technology. Join your hosts, Ori Wellington and Sam Jones, as they steer you through the latest trends, insights, and strategies shaping the future of integrated risk management. Ready to chart a course towards success? Hop aboard and let's set sail into today's deep dive.
All right, so those recent high-profile inspector general firings kind of got me thinking about, who watches the watchmen? It really gets you thinking about the whole idea of independence, especially in these oversight roles like internal audit and especially in the government. And, today we're diving into John Wheeler's article, Beyond GRC, Evolving Internal Audit and Inspector General Effectiveness, The Myth of Internal Audit Independence. Why it's time to evolve beyond GRC thinking.
Okay.
Now, for anyone who might not be super familiar with it, an inspector general is basically an internal watchdog, right? Responsible for sniffing out waste, fraud, and abuse within government agencies.
Makes sense.
But here's the big question, the thing I just keep coming back to.
Yeah.
Can these folks really be independent when they're part of the very system that they are supposed to be policing?
That's a great question, and that's really the core of what Wheeler is getting at in this article.
Okay.
He's basically saying that this whole idea of complete independence for internal auditors and inspectors general, well, it sounds really good in theory.
Yeah.
It might actually be hurting how effective they can be.
Really? So he's saying clinging to this idea of complete independence is actually harmful.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Okay, I am very interested to hear more about this. Lay it on me.
All right, so Wheeler, he points to this thing called legacy GRC thinking.
Okay.
GRC. It stands for governance, risk, and compliance.
Right.
And in this kind of traditional model, internal audit, it's super focused on compliance.
Sure.
Like checking the boxes, making sure everybody's following the rules.
Yeah.
It's, it's a little bit like if you were trying to improve your health, but you were only focused on like treating illnesses.
Oh, okay.
Instead of, being proactive, taking care of yourself, wellness kind of thing.
So you're talking about addressing the root cause instead of the symptoms.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, but how does that tie back to this idea of independence being a myth?
Well, it creates this, what Wheeler calls structural dependence. You got to think about it, right? Internal auditors, even inspector generals, they're employees of the organizations that they're auditing.
Right.
And a lot of times they report to the very people that they're supposed to be scrutinizing.
It's like the ultimate conflict of interest.
Right.
I mean, how could anybody feel comfortable blowing the whistle on their own boss?
Yeah.
When, it might mean your job.
Absolutely. And, those recent IG firings that we were talking about, I mean, they illustrate this perfectly.
Yeah.
They show how political influence can completely derail even the best oversight efforts.
And it caused a lot of controversy, too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with that 30-day notice rule that came out, I think, back in 2022.
Right.
Some people are arguing that it actually gives people who are doing shady stuff more time to, cover their tracks before a new IG is appointed.
Possible, yeah.
It almost seems like a built-in cover-up period, which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But this isn't just a government problem, is it? It's not. This happens everywhere.
Wheeler even points out that chief audit executives,
the CAEs?
Yeah, the ones in charge of internal audit for companies, face a lot of the same pressures.
Oh, for sure.
In fact, he actually says that it's not unusual at all for CEOs or CFOs to just get rid of CAEs.
Yeah.
To control the audit function.
Just get them out of the way.
That's a pretty bold statement to make.
It is.
So, okay. If clinging to this idea of absolute independence is actually part of the problem, what's the solution here? What are we supposed to do?
Well, Wheeler says we need to make a pretty big change.
Okay.
We need to move away from this outdated GRC way of thinking and embrace what he calls integrated risk management, or IRM.
Okay, I got to be honest. I'm not really familiar with IRM. Can you break that down for me?
Sure. So IRM, it's all about moving past just checking those boxes.
Right.
It's about understanding how risks are all connected instead of just waiting for problems to pop up and then reacting.
IRM is about proactively getting ahead of the curve, figuring out how to deal with risks before they even become a problem.
So it's like being proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly.
Okay, so instead of putting out fires, we're trying to prevent them from starting in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that. That's a much better visual.
It's a good way to think about it.
So how does IRM address this whole inherent problem of internal auditors being part of the system that they're supposed to audit?
Well, instead of trying to get to this perfect, totally independent ideal, IRM focuses on being as effective as possible within those limits.
So working smarter, not harder, accepting that there's always going to be a little bit of conflict.
That's the idea.
But how do we know that oversight is actually working in those situations?
That's a great question, and that's exactly what we're going to dig into in the next part of our deep dive.
Are you ready to see risk management in action? At Wheelhouse Advisors, we've launched a new YouTube channel dedicated to integrated risk management. You'll find quick explainers, insights from our IRM Navigator research reports, highlights from the Risk Journal, and conversations from the Risk Wheelhouse podcast. We're covering the topics that matter most to executives and risk leaders, from AI governance and cyber insurance to operational resilience and regulatory change. Every video is designed to help you anticipate risks, adapt with confidence, and build resilience in a digital-first world. In our first video, we explain how ISO 42001, the EU AI Act, and the NIST AI Risk Management Framework can work together as a unified playbook for AI risk. Subscribe today at youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv and get the latest insights delivered directly to you. That's youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the risks that matter most.
Okay, so we've talked about how this idea of perfect independence in internal audit, especially with inspector generals, might not really be possible. And we've started talking about this idea of integrated risk management, or IRM, as a way to maybe make oversight more effective, even with, those inherent limitations. But how does that actually work, practically? How do we move past just checking boxes and actually use this more holistic approach?
Well, I think it really requires a change in how we think about things.
Okay.
One of the big ideas in IRM is to focus on mitigating risks rather than just trying to police compliance.
Okay, so instead of playing gotcha, it's more about understanding the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly.
And preventing those situations that cause people to break the rules in the first place.
Exactly, yeah.
That sounds good in theory, but how do we actually do that?
It's a good question.
It's a little abstract.
It is a little abstract, yeah. Well, let's think about those IG firings again.
Okay.
In a traditional GRC model, we might just investigate if those firings were justified. Did they follow the procedures? Did they break any rules?
Right.
But IRM would take a step back and ask, what risks led to this situation in the first place?
Okay.
What warning signs did we miss?
Yeah.
How can we strengthen the system so this doesn't happen again?
So it's about looking beyond the immediate problem.
Yes.
And figuring out those weaknesses in the system, the things that made it possible for this to happen.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But who's actually responsible for all this proactive risk identification and mitigation?
Right.
It seems like that would require a pretty big change.
It does, yeah.
In people's roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, it would. And that's where we come back to Wheeler's point about moving away from this rigid idea of independence.
Okay.
He says that instead of trying to be totally isolated from the organization, internal auditors, IGs, they should be expert internal risk assessors.
Okay, so they're the ones who really understand how the organization works.
Yeah.
And they're constantly looking for those subtle signs that something might be wrong.
That's the idea.
So they're like a specialized radar system inside the organization.
I like that, yeah.
Constantly scanning for those potential problems and then calling in the experts when needed.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
That seems so much more efficient.
It is. It is.
Than just, waiting for something to blow up.
Right.
And then trying to figure out what went wrong after the fact.
Yeah, and that's where those external groups come in.
Okay.
Like the Government Accountability Office or independent auditors.
Right. They can come in and take a more objective look.
Exactly.
Do a thorough investigation if it's needed.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's about using the strengths of both internal and external oversight.
Yeah.
Recognizing that they both have a really important role to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
But how do we make sure that those external bodies aren't influenced by the same pressures that internal auditors face?
That's a great question, and that's where good governance structures are really important.
Oh, okay.
Remember those audit committees we talked about?
Yeah, that's the group of board members. Usually they're independent from management, right?
That's right, yeah.
And they oversee the whole audit function.
That's right, and they're crucial in making sure that both the internal and external auditors are protected from any kind of undue influence.
So they're like a buffer exactly between the auditors and anyone who might try to pressure them into downplaying something.
Yeah, or just look the other way.
Or to look the other way, yeah.
Right.
That's so important.
It is.
It's like creating multiple layers of protection.
Yeah.
To make sure that the people in charge of oversight can actually do their job.
And do it well.
And do it well, right?
Right, and that takes commitment from the very top.
Okay.
The leaders of the organization, they need to do more than just say they support IRM.
Right.
They need to actually make it part of how the organization works.
Okay, so it's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Showing a real commitment to transparency and accountability, not just saying it.
Right.
It's about making sure that people feel safe.
Yeah.
Speaking up when they see something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that risk is viewed as something we need to manage, not something we hide.
Exactly.
Okay, so IRM isn't just about changing processes and procedures.
Yeah.
It's about fundamental shift in mindset.
It is, yeah.
A change in culture that starts at the top.
Yeah.
And goes all the way through the organization.
That's right, yeah.
That's a big undertaking.
It is.
But it sounds like it's worth it.
It is. It's a journey. It's not like a flip a switch and you're done.
Right.
Implementing IRM. It takes time and effort and being willing to learn and adapt as you go.
But the potential payoff is huge.
It is huge, yeah.
We're not just talking about preventing a few IG firings.
No.
We're talking about creating organizations that are more resilient, more ethical, ultimately just better at achieving their goals.
That's right. And what's really fascinating is that this whole concept of IRM, it goes way beyond corporate governance and government oversight.
Wait, so you're saying this isn't just about big organizations and bureaucracy?
No, not at all.
It's relevant to everybody.
I think so, yeah.
How so?
Well, think about it. We all face risks every single day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's of our money, our health, our relationships, and how we deal with those risks. It often comes down to how we think about independence and control.
So are you saying that instead of trying to control every single aspect of our lives, which is probably impossible anyway,
yeah, pretty much,
we should focus on understanding how those risks are all connected and finding ways to manage them in a more complete way?
Exactly. It's about accepting that the world is complex and finding ways to make decisions that consider all of the potential risks and opportunities.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all ties together.
Yeah.
Can you give me a concrete example?
Sure.
Of how this IRM mindset could be used in a more everyday situation?
Okay, let's say you're thinking about buying a house.
Okay. Big decision.
Big decision, yeah.
Yeah.
A traditional GRC approach would be to check your credit score.
Okay.
Get pre-approved for a loan.
Yeah.
Make sure you have enough for a down payment.
Right. That's the box checking we've been talking about.
Exactly. But IRM would be different.
Okay. How so?
Instead of just focusing on those numbers, you'd also think about other risks.
Okay.
Like, what if interest rates change?
Right.
What's the housing market like?
Yeah.
What if you lose your job or get sick?
Right.
Things that could make it hard to make your mortgage payments.
So you're thinking beyond just the immediate transaction and considering the long-term implications of the decision.
Exactly.
Okay.
You might do some research on market trends, talk to experts, even run some what-if scenarios to see how things could play out.
That's a much more thoughtful way to make a decision.
It is, and it's something we can all do.
Yeah.
No matter if we're running a company or just managing our own finances.
I like that. It's like taking control of your own risk management.
Exactly.
Instead of feeling like you're just at the mercy of fate.
That's the idea, and that's what's so great about IRM.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to get rid of risk completely.
Right, which you can't do anyway.
You can't do it. It's impossible, but it's about understanding it, managing it, even using it to your advantage.
Now, I'm curious, Wheeler focuses a lot on how this would change things for organizations and government agencies.
Yeah.
But how might this shift affect the people working within those systems?
Oh, that's a really great question, and it brings up something really interesting about the human side of risk management.
Okay.
Think about it. If you're an internal auditor or an inspector general, and you've been doing things this old school GRC way, just focused on compliance, following the rules, shifting to IRM, that could feel pretty freeing.
Oh, so you're saying it could actually empower these people?
Absolutely, yeah.
Instead of feeling like they're just, a cunning in a machine,
Yeah.
checking boxes, enforcing rules.
Yeah.
They can start thinking more strategically.
Exactly.
Identifying risks in a more complete way.
Yeah.
Coming up with creative solutions that go beyond just, ticking things off a list.
Right. It could change how they feel about their jobs.
Yeah, and even find more meaning in what they do.
That's right. And it also gives them the chance to learn new skills.
Okay.
In areas like risk assessment, data analytics, strategic thinking.
So it's not just about changing systems and processes.
No
It's
doubt.
also about investing in the people who are managing those risks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that often gets overlooked
Yeah.
when we talk about making changes in organizations. We focus on the technical stuff, but we forget about the people.
That's so true, because at the end of the day, it's people who make the decisions, people who take risks, who are responsible for creating a culture of accountability.
Absolutely.
So we need to make sure they have what they need
Right.
to navigate this complex world of risk management
Yeah.
in a way that's both effective and ethical.
That's right.
Okay, so we've talked about how IRM can change organizations, empower individuals, but how might this impact society as a whole?
Right.
Does Wheeler touch on that at all?
He doesn't really talk about societal impact directly,
Okay.
but I think there's some interesting things to think about.
Okay.
If we start thinking about risk in this more integrated and proactive way,
Right.
it could lead to more resilient communities,
Okay.
a more sustainable economy,
Yeah.
even a more just and equitable society.
Wow, that's a pretty big claim.
It is, yeah.
Can you explain how that might happen?
Sure. So for one thing, if organizations and governments are better at managing risk, we might see fewer disasters,
Okay.
like financial crises,
Right.
environmental disasters,
Yeah.
public health emergencies.
So it's about preventing those black swan events that can have such a huge impact
Yeah, exactly.
on individuals and communities.
And it's about creating systems that can adapt
Okay.
and be resilient in the face of change.
Yeah, because change is the only constant, right?
It is, absolutely.
We live in a world where things are constantly changing.
Yeah, so being able to deal with that uncertainty
Yeah.
is really important.
So it's not just about avoiding risk altogether, but being ready for whatever challenges come up.
Exactly. And that kind of resilience,
Yeah.
it's essential for building a more fair and sustainable society.
Okay.
Because when systems are flexible and adaptable, it creates more opportunities for everyone,
I see.
no matter their background or circumstances.
So are you saying that IRM could actually be a force for good in society?
I think it could be, yeah.
Because when we shift our focus from just following the rules to actually understanding and managing risk in this more complete way,
Yeah.
it opens up new possibilities
It does, yeah.
for innovation,
Yeah.
collaboration,
Yeah.
and positive change.
That's right.
That's a really inspiring thought.
It is.
It suggests that if we rethink how we approach risk,
Yeah.
we can not only improve how organizations and individuals operate,
Right.
but we can actually create a better world for everyone.
I think so. I really do.
Yeah, so maybe instead of always trying to avoid risk, maybe we should think about it as an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
An opportunity for growth, innovation, positive change. I don't know, maybe.
I think that's a really powerful way to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, Wheeler's work is pushing us to think differently, to move past this idea that we can eliminate all risk.
Right, because you can't.
You can't. It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
And to understand that risk and opportunity, they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, like that old saying, the greatest risks come with the greatest rewards.
Exactly. Exactly. But it's not about just being reckless. No.
Definitely not.
It's about being smart, knowing what you're willing to risk, making sure your goals and your values are lined up,
Right.
and making sure that you have the right systems in place.
Right, to manage those risks.
Exactly, yeah.
So it sounds like what Wheeler's saying, this shift from GRC to IRM, it's way more than just changing a few procedures.
It's a total mindset shift.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that the old way of thinking about risk,
Right.
it just doesn't work anymore.
Especially with all the complex challenges we're facing.
Exactly.
It feels like we need a more human-centered approach
to
risk management.
I think that's right. It's about accepting that we can't eliminate risk,
Right.
but we can understand it. We can manage it,
Yeah.
and we can use it to create a better future.
For everyone, for ourselves, the world around us.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's really thought-provoking stuff.
It is.
But how do we actually put all of this into practice?
Like, how do we actually implement these changes?
Right.
What kind of, structures, processes, technologies do we need to support this?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
And I wish there were easy answers.
Right.
But IRM, it's complicated.
Yeah.
It takes careful planning, collaboration, and a willingness to experiment a little.
So there's not a, one-size-fits-all solution?
Not at all.
Okay.
Every organization, every situation is different.
Makes sense.
So you got to tailor your approach.
Okay, so if there's no single solution, are there at least some, general principles?
Oh, for sure.
Or best practices?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wheeler outlines some key steps.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me everything.
All right, so first, it's all about building a culture of risk awareness.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means everyone in the organization needs to understand risk management.
Okay.
And they need to feel like they can identify and report potential risks.
So we get rid of that blame and shame thing.
Yeah, exactly. That can happen around risk.
Yeah, it's about being open,
right,
transparent, where people feel safe speaking up. Exactly. And we need a common language to talk about risk.
Yeah, so everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
When it comes to understanding it.
Yeah, and then once you've got that, you can start developing those risk management processes.
Okay, like what?
Well, it might involve regular risk assessments, putting risk mitigation strategies in place, and then tracking what's happening, reporting on it.
So it's about making risk management a part of everyday business.
Exactly.
Not just something you do on the side.
And technology can help with that.
Oh, okay.
There are so many tools and platforms now to help organizations collect, analyze, manage risk data.
So technology is a big part of this shift to IRM.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so we've got the culture, the process, the technology. Yeah. What about the leaders?
Right.
What's their role in all of this?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because any IRM initiative, it needs the leaders on board.
Okay, so it's not enough to just have those policies and procedures.
Nope.
Leaders have to actually walk the walk and show their commitment to risk management.
In everything they do.
Yeah.
They need to set the tone, talk about risk clearly, and hold people accountable.
So they're really important in creating that culture of risk awareness.
Oh, they're crucial, yeah.
And accountability.
And they need to be willing to challenge how things have always been done.
Right, because sometimes you need to shake things up.
Exactly. They need to be willing to question things.
Yeah.
Experiment. Even take some risks themselves.
So it's not about avoiding risk completely, but about being strategic.
Yeah.
Making sure those risks are helping you reach your goals.
That's exactly it. That's what good leadership is all about.
Making those tough calls, weighing the pros and cons, guiding the organization towards a better future.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive
into this idea of internal audit independence, the thing that really sticks with me is that this conversation is about so much more than just auditing.
It is.
It's about how we approach risk decision-making in all parts of our lives.
In everything we do.
It's recognizing that we're all part of these systems.
Right.
Government, corporations, families, whatever.
Yeah, they're all around us.
And those systems are complex.
Very complex.
And interconnected.
Absolutely.
And instead of trying to have complete control.
Which is impossible.
Right. It's an illusion.
It is.
We can get better results by understanding the risks and the opportunities.
Yeah.
Creating a culture of transparency, accountability, and helping people think critically and act responsibly.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
It's about embracing that complexity, challenging what we think we know, and taking responsibility for our role in shaping the future.
So in this crazy, unpredictable world,
maybe we need to let go of this idea of absolute independence.
I think so.
And think about risk in a more nuanced, integrated human way.
That's the way forward.
One that recognizes our limits, uses our strengths, and helps us build a better world.
A better world for everyone.
For everyone.
Not for us, for the future, for everybody.
So to everyone listening, keep asking questions.
Yeah.
Keep exploring, keep pushing the boundaries.
That's what it's all about.
And thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
That wraps up another episode of the Risk Wheelhouse. Thank you for spending time with us at Wheelhouse Advisors today. We hope you found the conversation insightful and actionable for your organization's risk strategies. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis and thought leadership on risk technology, be sure to visit the Risk Tech Journal at therisktechjournal.com. It's your go-to source for comprehensive articles, expert interviews, and the latest trends shaping the industry. Subscribe today to stay informed. For any inquiries or feedback, please contact us directly at info@wheelhouseadvisors.com, or feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn and x.com and share your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. Visit wheelhouseadvisors.com for more information and resources. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, navigate wisely.